Left to right, we have pitcher Brett Herlong, head coach Landon Powell, and center fielder Josh Center. Coach, opening statements and then questions.
Great to get a win. Elimination game at home, back against the wall, win or go home scenario. And it was great for my guys to go out there and show up and win. I know that we have a lot of fight. We've shown that all year. This team's never out of it. They never quit. So yesterday when we lost that first game, part of me was almost like good. This team thrives in that kind of situation. And I don't know if that's kind of sick in the head for me to think that way, but here they are. They went and pretty much dominated the next 18 innings. And I'm just really proud of their efforts. Couldn't be more thrilled to be sitting next to these two guys. These are two fifth-year seniors who've been in our program since they came out of high school. A lot of people think North Greenville is built on transfers and stuff, and this is exact opposite proof of that. This is two guys that came here straight out of high school. They both had tremendous careers, been 4 or 5 year starters, and they both put their team on their back today, and they're the reason we got a big win. So just really proud of them and excited to keep coaching them for a couple more weeks.
Herlong, you came in and pitched in the first inning. That was your second appearance in the tournament. You got a win and a save during the tournament, going 8 1/3 innings pitch with no runs given up and 5 strikeouts. Talk a little bit about what it was for you at the tournament.
The first day is something I'm used to. I'm a late inning guy every time. Even first inning today is something I'm used to. I'm used to going in mid-inning. The 6 innings after, I've never done that since I've been here. It's been 5 years since I've thrown more than maybe 50 pitches in an outing. It just felt good to finally know what it felt like to settle into a game instead of finish it out.
Josh, been here for 5 years, 4 years besides the COVID. You've been a conference champion, played in regionals. Talk a little bit about that experience for you to be back here.
Yeah, it's huge. We have a lot of old guys in the lineup. We believe in each other, and we can hit the ball. We know we can hit the ball. We're never out of it, and I think that experience goes a long way.
You got Tim Robinson, Independent Son. You look at your lineup, and you got some new guys kind of from the majority of the season. You got Zach Zara playing first base, Andrew Kaminsky, DH, Campbell Connard catching. Would you have believed that would have been your lineup for an elimination game in a regional?
No, Tim, I wouldn't have thought that would be the lineup we'd have. We had a veteran team going into the season and kind of a pretty set lineup. Those are all great players you just listed and show what kind of depth we have. We've had some injuries, obviously losing our All-American catcher, John Michael Fail. That changed some things for us. And then we had some guys that played a lot early in the year that maybe were struggling a little bit down the stretch. And so it was an opportunity to give some other guys a chance. Hats off to my assistant coaches, Trey Dyson and those guys. They constantly tell me what they think that I should be doing. I don't always listen, but there's times that I do. And they're right sometimes, and that a couple of the guys that were in line today, Zach Zara playing first and Andrew Kaminsky, those were not my original ideas, but I really believe in my assistant coaches, and they didn't lead me astray because both of those guys did really well.
Coach, talk a little bit about just having your backs against the wall and how adversity that your team was after losing first game against Little Orion. But winning the second game yesterday and winning today.
Yeah, just like I said earlier, they just these guys don't quit, and sometimes it feels like they're almost more comfortable when they're chasing a little bit. So they just are a resilient group. I think that's what happens when you have veterans, and they've also, like I was saying earlier, I think they've won 6 or 7 games this year when they were down 5 after the 7th inning, which is kind of a crazy number, crazy stat. But that just shows you that they're not scared and they're not going to give up and they're not going to give in. And they'll just keep coming and keep showing up and competing. And that's what good baseball teams do. So I'm proud of them for it.
Josh, talk a little bit about what Coach Powell just elaborated about, that you guys are kind of comeback rallies that you guys have. Again, you guys were down 2-0 before you even got up to the plate. Talk a little bit about just trying to score 1 run at a time and get a hit every single time you're up there.
Yeah, I mean, we just scratch, we grind, and we believe in each other. If we're down, we're just waiting on that big inning. It feels like we just know we're going to crack it open at some point, and we believe in everybody in the lineup. We think anybody can get the hit, so it's just maybe get that starter out or whatever it may be. We just know we're going to have a big inning at some point.
And I would say hats off too. Like, there's some unknowns that I don't think people realize that's going on within our team. But we lost a 2-time All-American and 3-time All-Region player, Conference Player of the Year. I think he hasn't played in the last 7 or 8 games that we've played, and he's still leading the country in RBIs right now. And to have a guy like that who's your catcher, calls every pitch, and is the backbone of your offense, to lose him, and for these guys still to show up and go out every game and believe they're going to win, I think that just says a lot about who they are as a team. That's what makes them a special group.
One last question, and all three of you can answer this. Do you think that your experience in situations like this, like we've been playing these tournaments, I think our first one was 2015. Do you think you could lean on your experience in a game like this, whereas Lenore Ryan, this is their first time, and you can tell they were a little shaky on defense. Do you think it's something that you guys were already prepared for the moment, I guess, that's what they said? Yeah,
anytime, like as a competitor, any kind of sport, you want to be battle tested. You want to be in the fire and know what it's like to be in that fire and come out of it. And we got a lot of guys that have done that. Josh has started, who knows, 200 college games in his career, and Herlong's probably thrown 200 college innings, maybe, I don't know. So these guys are battle tested, and we got several more in our lineup. That being said, we also had 2 sophomores and 2 freshmen in our lineup that haven't been there. And so it's great experience for them to be put in the fire this young in their career, and it'll pay dividends to them in years to come.
I got one coach for the super regionals, and any preference to anybody that comes out of the Wingate regional for you next weekend? No
preference. Bryce, is your Little League team in that regional or no? No, I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's going to be a good team no matter what. When you get to a super regional, which we've been lucky enough to be at one, and we lost kind of in heartbreaking fashion, you're going to face a really good team. Anybody that late in the year that's at that point is going to be a great team. So, we know that, and we're prepared for it, and we know we're a great team too. So they're probably thinking the same thing about us. I'm ready to go to war and compete, and wouldn't choose a different group to do it with.
Thank you.
All right.